on to the edge of your seat right now because three of the most gripping true crime stories the nation has ever seen are coming to the Wilbur Theater stage next week.
That's right. Local writer and best-selling author Casey Sherman is bringing together the stories of the Boston Strangler, the murder of Hollywood's Lana Turner, and Cape Cod serial killer Tony Costa in an immersive production called A Nightmare with Casey Sherman. And Casey and actor John Fiore are with us now. Hey, guys.
I'm cheesing too hard. We're talking about murder, but I'm just so happy that you're here.
Oh, there we go. We get that a lot.
Right, that makes sense. So off the top, what can people expect from the production?
Sure, it's a 90-minute thrill ride through, my investigations and best-selling books. We're going to be talking about the Boston Strangler case. We're going to be talking about a serial murder case in Provincetown, Massachusetts, which is on par with Jack the Ripper. And we'll be taking our audience to Hollywood, 1958, where Lana Turner, the biggest actress at the time, was involved in a sensational crime.
Wow.
It is just wild that all of these, you have done so much research into them and you've brought them to life in books and now on stage. You have an incredible cast. John, you're a part of this.
Wow.
Yes.
Who are you playing?
Well,
and how
I'm
fun
playing the notorious hitman, Joseph Barboza, who was quite the character, let me tell you. He fit perfectly in the zeitgeist of the times. He became a very popular figure, didn't he, Casey? He just,
Yeah, he did.
He sort of transcended just being a criminal, because back then you only had tabloid newspapers, we didn't have all these distractions, so everybody kind of knew about this guy.
Yeah.
And ultimately he met his doom out in San Francisco.
What was it like for you to learn that Casey was doing this, and what made you jump on board?
Well, I was tired of being typecast as a killer. And I got a phone call from Casey saying, "You want to play Joseph Barboza Baron?" He was also known as. I said, "Yes, of course I do." So I did. And I played him once before, as Casey knows, many years ago. But I was honored. I'm thrilled to be in it. It's going to be a magnificent show, and you should all come out and see it.
Yeah.
Casey, the sci-fi thriller, true crime, all of that, it has a chokehold on people at this point. Pun intended, maybe. But why do you think that is, and what are you hoping people take from not the book, only the books, but the productions?
Sure. Well, it's really a look behind the scenes at how investigations are done. With the Boston Strangler case, that was a personal story for me. My aunt, 19-year-old Mary Sullivan, was the youngest and final victim of that notorious 1960s murder spree. When we exhumed the so-called killer's remains, I've actually held his skull in my hands.
Wow.
So that's how close you get to these stories, and I think that the audience is going to learn a lot of new information. As I said, it's true crime is huge right now. Everyone loves to play armchair sleuth, and I think this gives the audience an opportunity not only to hear the stories, but to really see them act out live by an incredible troupe of talented actors. The show is sponsored by NWN Carousel in Boston, and that allows me to bring 20 actors on stage playing Joe Barboza, playing the would-be Boston Strangler Albert DeSalvo, F. Lee Bailey, the legendary legal eagle at the time. And there's one actor in particular, his name is Michael Ziccola, and he plays a serial killer in Provincetown in our last act, Helltown. He provides probably the most terrifying theater performance that I've ever seen. So I can't wait for the audience to dive into these stories themselves.
This is important. It humanizes the victims of these crimes.
100%. And it's all about deconstructing these killers, not glorifying them, but providing the victims, like my aunt, agency and their voices, because they've been lost for decades.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your work. Wow.
And you guys, this is also benefiting the Pete Frates Foundation, which I know is personal to you as well. So, Casey, tell us why the Pete Frates Foundation and what the funds will do.
Sure. I wrote the biography of Pete Frates with my longtime collaborator, Dave Wedge, a few years ago. And, although Pete's gone, his mission still exists. And what these tickets, anybody that buys them, the ticket proceeds are all going to go to the Pete Frates Foundation, which helps patients with ALS and their families across New England.
All right, you guys, the show, A Nightmare with Casey Sherman, is Wednesday, March 26th. You can get tickets online at thewilbur.com. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us, guys.